So the government has shut down, and people are losing their jobs, people are getting laid off, people are working, not getting paid. Regular people, military people. This whole shutdown is affecting the whole country. And what about the people that's waiting on their benefits, on their money from the government to feed their kids each month? Now, it's a whole lot of stuff going on. And I need y'all to take a listen, my people, and hear what some of these people have to say. Because some of them are white people, and some of them are black people. But I need y'all, my viewers and subscribers, to leave a comment after you watch this video and let me know what you think. So if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you subscribe and make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Welcome to Jamaica Vibes Entertainment TV.
Good afternoon, everybody on TikTok. Last week we heard about the people that receive EBT and SNAP benefits will not be receiving those for November due to the government shutdown. And it has a lot of people worried. And it has a lot of people wondering, how am I going to feed my family and things like that. And I can understand that to a certain point for people that really, really need it, that maybe are out of work and do not have money coming in right now. But people that have been on this system for years and years and just keep having kids to stay on the system, and people that know how to work the system, maybe this time, it shows you that it's time to get a job. It's time to provide for yourself. I feel sorry for the elderly people because they probably really don't receive much anyway, a little bit, and they try to live off their Social Security check and pay rent and bills and buy medicine, and now they're going to be losing a lot of their Medicaid and stuff, and those are people that really, really need it. But since the first of this year, I have just had a feeling, since about January of 2025, that our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, is going to be coming in the clouds soon to get us. And I really, honestly believe that.
Remember how I told you the longer this government shutdown lasts, the worse it's going to get? Well, we are now 20 days into it, and worse is almost here for more than 40 million men, women, and kids who get food assistance from the U.S. government's SNAP program.
And an important role of the government is to provide that safety nest for those with the least among us. Today, I think New York announced that they can't continue taking new enrollees because of the government shutdown in SNAP, in our food stamp program. We're going to run out of money in 2 weeks. So you're talking about millions and millions of vulnerable families, of hungry families that are not going to have access to these programs because of this shutdown.
That was the Secretary of Agriculture who said last week that by November 1st, an estimated 42 million Americans could be shut out of the SNAP program. Recipients just wouldn't get their benefits. Now, just to be clear, SNAP is the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It used to be called food stamps, and it is the government program that provides food benefits to low-income families in order to supplement their grocery budgets. Now, according to the Agriculture Department, about 12% of U.S. residents receive SNAP benefits, and as of 2024, that SNAP benefit averaged about $190 a month. According to this letter, though, sent to all SNAP administrators in all states nationwide 10 days ago, if the government does not reopen, there will be insufficient funds to pay full November SNAP benefits. The acting administrator of SNAP went on to say in the letter, in the interest of preserving maximum flexibility, state SNAP offices should not be sending out monthly issuance files to vendors. And without those issuance files, vendors cannot load SNAP benefits onto those EBT cards. And if the benefits aren't loaded onto the EBT cards, then SNAP beneficiaries don't have the money to buy the groceries they need. It's a ripple effect. So if you do receive SNAP benefits, what is this going to mean for you? Well, the fact is the government is shut down because, as I've been reporting, Congress cannot agree on how to allocate money to each government department. The Department of Agriculture is one of those government departments, and it oversees SNAP benefits. So until the shutdown is ended, legally, they can't spend any money, including on your SNAP benefits. Each state, though, is handling this differently. Some are doing exactly what this letter says and cutting off all November SNAP payments. Some are reportedly considering sending out partial payments in November, and it's also possible that your state may pay for the benefits up front themselves and then try and get some kind of reimbursement from the federal government. But that is all in limbo right now. So if you are in this program and you are concerned about your November benefits, I highly suggest that you check your state's SNAP program website to figure out if there's anything you should be doing right now to prepare yourself. It's also possible, because of the shutdown, the Trump administration could do for SNAP what they say they are going to do for the WIC program and the 7 million low-income women and children who rely on that food assistance program. The White House said that it will temporarily use tariff revenue to pay for WIC. We will have to wait and see if they choose to do the same thing for SNAP.
All right, so a lot of people was already expecting this. Some people were just hoping it wasn't true, that the government would be back up and running, but it's not. And yesterday, the USDA announced that there will be no SNAP benefits in the month of November. That means 42 million people will not have food stamps. That's 170,000 people in Maine alone. This is probably going to be the craziest Thanksgiving for some people. Some people probably not going to even have Thanksgiving because they use those food stamps to buy Thanksgiving meals. Now, a lot of people are panicking. A lot of people saying, what am I going to do? I can give you a couple of ideas what they're throwing out there right now. They're saying food banks. Now, it's going to be packed because people are already going to it right now. As soon as they heard the announcement yesterday, a lot of people heard and hit up the food banks. Now, you say, I don't know if I got a food bank in my area. You go to Feeding America website, Feeding America website, and you type in your zip code, and it'll give you your nearest food bank. Also, TFAP. That's the TFAP, TEFAP. Yeah, the Emergency Food Assistance Program. That's another place they also tell people to go to the website, look it up, and see if you qualify for it. That's just two ways, man, to try to help you, man, this November, man. And hopefully the government up and running again, man. You don't have to go through it through December too, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, y'all get on the websites. If you not gonna get your food stamps, get on the websites, man, and get you some help, man. Don't be feeling bad and feeling down, man. Get to work. Y'all thank me later.
Nobody got their food stamps today, so this is what it's looking like out here. Let me show y'all.
Look at this. People in here taking everything off the shelves, acting wild.
Genuine question for those of you who receive SNAP, EBT, food stamps, whatever you want to call them, benefit. Why are you okay relying on the federal government to feed your family, the family that you willingly created? Everybody out here is in an uproar about this mom who said that she used her EBT benefits to buy a pumpkin to decorate with her children. And I don't know, I have to agree. People are out here saying, why do poor people not deserve to have a pumpkin? If you are able to work and you are willing to work, we have spent years on this app with people out here doing grocery hauls of junk food that they bought with their EBT benefits. And yet now you know how everybody else feels when they can't afford groceries for their family but don't qualify for EBT benefits because, well, we're honest, hardworking people. I digress. At what point do you start to feel a little bit of shame, but then also open your eyes to, these are the people that you voted into office? Do you understand and realize that the Democrats that are in office, like Chuck Schumer, are the ones that you put there that are keeping you with no food on your table? Do you know who they're also keeping with no food on their table? Federal workers. There are federal workers who are not getting paid right now. So if we can come to an agreement on anything, can we come to an agreement that the Democrats are absolute scumbags and they refuse to care anything about the American people, all because they want insurance for illegal immigrants? And next time around, can we actually get you on our side? Because you see, we wouldn't have stopped your SNAP benefits. Y'all wanted to come out here and play all these little games and have your little protest and wear your little costumes. And now you may not have food for Thanksgiving. Yet somehow you still want us to figure it out for you.
Just listening to you, you could tell you're upset, you're angry for whatever reason. You're just angry. And I could just imagine how many of y'all across the country are feeling. You know, I just take this one example and look at it in a broader perspective. Because you got to do that in today's day and time. That if one person is acting like this, and I'm saying, you got to remember, black people built this country. So if there's benefits that should be given unto them, they deserve it. Because they're not giving us no reparations. So whatever benefits we do get, whatever benefits we get, regardless of how small it is, how it makes one family survive by putting food on their table, it ain't got nothing to do with no laziness and nothing like that, as a lot of these white people be thinking. You know, some of these white people be thinking they got white privilege. But it is what it is. It is what it is. And let's continue.
To the idiots who are so concerned that people are using their food stamp benefits to purchase junk food, I'm going to teach you what my mom taught me at a very, very young age. When I was little, we were volunteering at a food pantry. And we had it kind of like an assembly line where each person would put something in the box and move it along to the next person. So I noticed that in the boxes, we were putting chocolates in there. And I remember asking my mom, like, why do they get chocolate? Like, their main focus should be like the meat and the dairy and things like that. And she said, you know what? Everybody deserves to have something to enjoy. And then it dawned on me at an early age that just like when I would come home after a stressful day and I wanted to house an entire bag of Doritos, how much more stressful is it to try to make ends meet and to have to constantly think about where your next meal is going to come from? So when you finally get that meal, it's cause for celebration, and you deserve to get Little Debbie snacks, potato chips, sodas, whatever you want, because you've had to probably work overtime or multiple jobs or figure out how to cut a lot of corners so that you can take care of your family. And everybody who has an issue with people who receive food stamps being able to buy junk food, y'all are just as bad as the idiots who were like, child support should be put on a card to where it can be monitored to make sure the money's going to the kids. Y'all are just as dumb as they are. And to be quite honest, all of us could stand to eat a little bit more healthfully, you know? I don't think that's a word, but it's a word in this video. And I'll use myself as an example. When I first left my abusive ex-husband in 2008, and I was building me and my kids' lives from literal nothing, and I got food stamp benefits, it also gave me a sense of pride to, at the very least, be able to get my kids their favorite cereal or little snacks to bring to school so they could be just like all the other kids who bought fun snacks to school. It gave me a sense of pride for them to come home and be able to get an ice cream cone. It made us feel even more together to be able to eat some Velveeta cheese dip and some tortilla chips on the weekend. Hell, it made me feel good to be able to drink an icy cold soda at the end of a long day. And I worked my butt off trying to rebuild our lives and to get to where I am today. So if a food stamp recipient wants to buy some snacks, trust me, if anybody deserves the snacks, they do. The world is a stressful place. Let them enjoy some fruit snacks.
Baby, white TikTok is in a frenzy, and while I have my voice right now, I'm going to use that hoe. They don't understand how their SNAP benefits are being cut off in November. They literally thought when they heard SNAP benefits, it was only going to hit the black folks, okay? Now, I'm going to say this. When the government shuts down, it does not just shut down for one particular group of people. It shuts down for everybody and they fucking mama. So yes, white people in the Midwest, these Appalachian white folks, y'all ain't gonna have y'all shit either. Now I am gonna say this, when you decided to vote for that man, you put a wild card on the table during Uno. You don't know which way this man is gonna go. And no, I am not blaming Democrats once again. They are holding the fucking line for the Affordable Care Act and Medicaid. Something you white folks on SNAP need. So y'all better buckle up. Now, if there's an uptick in shoplifting in grocery stores, if y'all see that shit, be like Pam on Martin. I ain't seen jack. Because we ain't seen none of it. Now, food banks are going to have a hard time because you already got federal workers that don't have any benefits whatsoever right now, are not getting paid. You also have people in the armed services that are not getting paid, that are lined up at those damn food banks. Now you got over 40-something million people that will not be receiving their SNAP, that's going to need food as well. So I do expect an uptick in shoplifting. Do what the fuck you got to do to survive.
Every year I try to give food and I give toys to organizations to help, but I'm going to tell you, I gotta pay for my own family, and it sucks. But you guys have gotten very comfortable living off of the government. And the very thought that you might not get your cards in November has got you guys screaming all over the internet. Meanwhile, you had no problem spending $1,000 food hauls at Costco and showing all the internet all the food you get and dancing and laughing, and even some women like very sarcastically being like, "Oh, you mad?"
Lock in, fuck niggas. We about to fact check this shit. First, if you fuck with me, check out that podcast. Let's get it. What the hell is she talking about? First of all, you are online way too much, and I know you know nothing about food stamps, because if you did, you would not make that video. And why are you mad at people using food stamps to buy food? Isn't that why we use it? But I'm gonna give you guys some information just to show you what she's saying doesn't make any damn sense. First of all, if you want less people on SNAP benefits, that would mean that the economy has to get better. Because if we just took the time to use our big people brain, then we'll realize that if the price of living is increasing and wages remain the same, then more people are gonna need government assistance. Which is why reports are saying a stronger economy will equal less people on food stamps. Not to mention that food stamps is just a temporary assistance, meaning that people usually stay between 6 to 24 months. And do you even know the demographic of the people that are on these benefits that the right are complaining about? 34% are children, 33% are the elderly, and 17% are disabled. Not to mention that 50% of people who are on WIC, which is women, infant, and children, have either SNAP, Medicaid, or both. In Trump's economy, we have a bad job market, unemployment is high, and inflation is high as well. And you're trying to understand why people want to get on food stamps?
I keep watching a bunch of videos of y'all on here making fun of the people who ain't going to be receiving the SNAP benefits next month. But let me let y'all in on a little secret. Most of y'all ain't nothing but a paycheck or two from being those folks. Most Americans can't even handle a $500 emergency. So although it seems funny, it's not. It could be you. And laughing at somebody else's misfortune is that shit is whack in my head anyway. But nonetheless, if this economy don't teach you nothing else, it should teach you to stop putting all your eggs in one basket. Because at the end of the day, even your good job that you think you have can be ripped under your feet, and then you'll be humbled.
In regards to EBT, when did this all change? I mean, I know that I'm a hardworking person and never want to ask for handouts, so I didn't ever qualify for anything until Hurricane Charlie, where we had a national disaster. And then I was surprised when COVID hit and I applied for things, and I was like, wow, for the first time in my life, I'm not an immigrant, I'm a natural-born citizen, I actually qualify for something. But it's weird because raising my own daughter, I let her know we don't ask for a handout from the government. We are proud, hardworking, we keep our own, we don't ask for handouts. But today, the average younger generation person lives off that EBT. My own daughter didn't listen to me, followed the footsteps of her mother, who lives on social programs and uses the government for handouts. My daughter fell in that same trap. She immediately got pregnant, had a child, lived off that $500 to $700 a month. It was like, that's her nest egg. So she could trade it for money. That was her value to the home. But now she has 3 kids and is not even 24. Okay? So November 1st, these people that, you know, have been so self-righteous, like I've got $700, $900 a month. That's my job. They got a hard awakening, you know? And even my daughter, she uses people, and guess what? There's no phone call, you know? Like, people are going to have to figure out the way that we did, is that when you're hungry, you make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You make the noodles. You make the cheap stuff. You don't go out and buy the manufactured food or processed food. So, for all y'all that are talking about stuff, and yeah, you're talking about, oh, it's going to have such a huge impact. Well, if people aren't buying that junk food, what do you think is going to happen? It's not that million people are going to be out of jobs. What if the prices go down? What do you think the oil is doing right now? So, point of this is, correct this. I hope that people learn to get off of the system and not be relying on them. And yes, our economy sucks. And no, the dollar, the value doesn't go hard. But it's never going to fix or correct itself unless we stop it.
So the country being shut down is a very serious issue. It's so serious that, you know what I'm saying, as you have watched the video, people are complaining in any way, shape, or form. Some are complaining that, you know what I'm saying, people should get off their lazy butts and go get jobs. You know what I'm saying? But if the economy was good, I guess everybody have jobs. One thing we got to understand, that everybody ain't going to have jobs. Regardless of what. Look how many years have been going on in this country where people are going to be out of work. Some people going to have work. That's just the way it is. And if the country is set up a way where they give people benefits who are in bad situation for their survival, for their rent, and for putting food on their table for their family and their children, then that's the way it is. So some people will have an issue and some people won't. Some people will have understanding and some people won't. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is. It's the United States of America. It's the system that was set up, and now the government shut down. This ain't the first time the government been shut down, but I guess it's more focused on it now because of who the president is. You know what I'm saying? But just like everything else, we gonna get through this. You know, we gonna get through this. We'll always find a way. And with the blessing from the Almighty, we're going to find many ways to get through them doors and find a way to keep surviving and find a way to overcome. So if you have enjoyed this video, please give this video a thumbs up and make sure you leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think of this whole SNAP benefit issue, as you see, as you have checked out in this video. And tell a friend about Jamaica Vibes Entertainment TV. And with that, people, we out.